Hey there, viewer. I don't usually do this because I try to sanitize even mature titles of objectionable content as I'm editing reviews together, but this is Doom. Basically every second of gameplay is going to be objectionable to some folks due to the nature of the violence. Consider yourself warned. I wasn't really old enough to play Doom when it first released back in 1993. I was alive technically, but I'm not that old. I have played it, but only because I love the history of gaming, and Doom is an irrefutable keystone of that history. That said, in around 1996 or early 97, I played the crap out of Chex Quest, a game which the eagle-eyed among you will recognize as being Doom, except with a Chex piece instead of Doom Guy and blobs of phlegm instead of Hellspawn. It's literally just a reskin of the original Doom. An indisputably excellent reskin of the original Doom. I said indisputable, Karen. So when id Software turned up in 2016 with a remake of probably their most recognizable property ever, they managed to spark the interest of both the gaming historian and the nostalgic Chex fan in me. You're probably wondering now why this review has taken until 2019 to happen. Your parents are wondering the same thing, so lay off. Let's set some groundwork before we get into this. Doom wasn't the world's first quote-unquote modern FPS. That honor goes to another id title, Wolfenstein 3D. But Doom was the world's first massively popular modern FPS, and sort of defined expectations for the genre that have lasted clear into today's market. The genre has obviously been altered over the years by games like System Shock and Half-Life, but Doom had all the bones of a modern FPS already there. And I don't just mean literal bones, though there's plenty of those too. Now let's jump forward to 2016 and talk about what the remake needed to do to live up to the reputation of its grandfather. To some people, it only needed to manage to be better than Doom 3, but that's a low bar. To equal the original, it had to provide a rapid pace filled with absurdly gruesome yet incredibly satisfying gunplay that doesn't become fatiguing after 30 minutes, so you can spend days on end traversing level after level packed to the gills with Hellspawn in an orgy of destructive gore, coming up only for the brief respite of a quick shower and a refill of Mountain Dew. Yes, I said shower. Stop perpetuating that stereotype. Doom was one of the games that convinced a generation of parents, and unfortunately a lot of their kids, that video games are somehow turning children into serial killers. Looking back, it's hard to see where they were coming from, and there have been plenty of studies that indicate no such connection will ever be so simple. But given the response to the original, imagine the aneurysms that would have resulted if we dropped the 2016 Doom into 1993. Because it's exactly the same high-octane demon-wrecking rampage as the original, but with far more graphics. I mean, put simply, if you like first-person shooters and you've made it this far into the video without hurling your cookies due to the movement or gore, you'll probably get a kick out of Doom. Either version, actually, the original or the remake. You can take the original for a spin right now over on archive.org, while the remake will set you back some funds. But it's still worth it. Absolutely everything about the 2016 Doom is designed to make you play the game fast and chaotically. Many of the guns don't do jack diddly to enemies unless you're literally right in front of them, but if you are in fact close enough, those same guns are absolutely devastating. Ammo pickups are rare, so you'll probably want to save your shots until you're right in front of an enemy anyway, and health pickups are even rarer. All taken together, that means you're going to want to melee kill as many demons as humanly possible. It saves on ammo, and if done properly, it regenerates health. The movement speeds for this game are also a little insane. You traverse rooms in a heartbeat, which is good, because if you stop at all, you'll quickly be overrun. So you're constantly on the move, shotgunning demons before ripping their heads off with your bare hands while you veritably fly across the levels of demonic Marsscape. Not because you're trying to escape or anything as pedestrian as that, but simply because you're just trying to exterminate as many of these monsters as possible. The story of the remake is undoubtedly more pronounced than the original, but that's not saying much. The original basically gave you a title screen that said, "You're a space marine trapped on Mars and demons are invading. Good luck." The remake gives you a huge energy conglomerate, experimenting with the Hell Dimension and a conspiracy involving demon worshippers. But the gist is still, you're trapped on Mars and demons are invading. Good luck. They did add a bit of backstory to Doom Guy himself that I really like, basically suggesting that you are no mere Space Marine in power armor, and neither are you a genetically augmented Space Marine in power armor. You're a literal Angel of Death, the Scourge of Hell, whom the demons refer to as Doomslayer, and the best they could manage for handling you is to trap you in a magic box because your reincarnating butt is basically unkillable. And if you think about it, that's sort of the purest distillation of virtually every FPS protagonist out there. Supernatural, endlessly regenerating nightmares. Instead of trying to explain around that like some games, Doom is perfectly content to lean into it, encouraging you to be as terrifying as absolutely possible by basically making that your only victory condition. You may have heard the Doom remake compared to Dark Souls in the following manner. In Dark Souls, you're trapped in a room with monsters. In Doom, monsters are trapped in a room with you. this is a 100% accurate description of the game. So if that all sounds pretty freaking awesome and you haven't played the game, I'd say you should definitely pick it up. It's a super good remake of an indisputable classic, which keeps the spirit of the original game intact while making virtually every aspect of it better. It scratches nostalgic itches while delivering a well-executed modern AAA experience, and it deserves all the praise it got. 2016's Doom is basically a dissertation on why id Software is still, almost 30 years on, the master of first-person shooters.